you, welcome to the channel. I'm back and I have a new complexion product review for you guys. It is the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Enhancing Tint. Got two shades over here. I'm wearing it on my face right now. And of course, I'm going to scrutinize it. I'm going to do a wear test. I'm going to tell you all about it. And we're going to see whether this is actually worth your time and your money. So if you are here for this, subscribe if you aren't already. Why not? Just hit that button. Just do it. Do it. Because I know you come back to this channel all the time for all of my complexion reviews, and I know you're probably a shade twin, so I think, bestie, it is your time to subscribe. With that, let's get right into it. Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Enhancing Tint review, wear test, and verdict for you. Let's go. All right, so in my hands right now, I have the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Enhancing Tint. I have it in two shades here, T7 and T8. And by the way, don't confuse these numbers with the foundation shade numbers. They are not the same. And in fact, I made that mistake of going to the Lisa Eldridge website and I was looking at these shades and somehow they were just like leaning way too light. And I said, oh no, did they send me some really, really fair shades that I can't actually test? But then I realized I was looking at the foundation. So we're all good. We are in the medium category with the T7 and T8 in the skin tint. Anyways, let me give you guys all of the deets on this. I have prepared some notes because I have a couple of things to say. First of all, this is a $49 product. We've got a squeezy little tube. Supposedly you need to shake this really, really well. There are 20 shades altogether. It has an ultra lightweight texture, blurring pigments, supposed to give you your skin on its best day. That's actually what it says on the website. And it is so crease proof that you can even wear it under your eye, which is really cool actually. If it's crease proof, that means that it's probably also self-setting. So that's exciting. $49, if I didn't already mention that, but I'll mention it again because $49 for a skin tint is on the high side. And now let's get to the thing that I wrote the most notes on, the ingredients. So the ingredients, which I will pop up right here so we could look at them together. Top one is water. Second ingredient is coconut alkane. So I took that ingredient as well as the entire list of ingredients into ChatGPT, and coconut alkanes is a 4 on the comedogenic scale. So if you are acne prone, 4 is kind of in the dangerous territory. This is very, very high, which means that this is probably pore clogging, especially if you are prone to fungal acne. Like, reading that made me very, very, very wary of trying this product. Like, I do not want to break out. My skin right now is on the good side. You know, I did have a couple of bumps here and there, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, you know, but I'm getting over them and I'm happy that I'm getting over them. My skin always thrives in the summer. So I absolutely do not want to interrupt that. Coconut alkanes is definitely a little bit questionable to me. Obviously, it's not all about the ingredients. It's also about the formulation. So although this one ingredient is very high on the scale, doesn't mean that it won't be countered by some other ingredients, right? However, we also have cocoa caprolate caprate, pretty high up on the list. And this is a plant-derived emollient, also from coconut, and it's rated a 2/3. So again, not low, kind of in the mid-range scale. So I'm a little hesitant, but you know what? For this review, for you guys, I'm gonna review it and I'm gonna place this product with this ingredient on my skin. Actually, like I said, ingredients are one thing, but formulation is a whole other thing. And so if everything else works, hopefully I'll be all right. Let's test out the shades. T7 is a neutral undertone. Sounds like there's a nice ball in there. Also, it has this really cool groove to help you grip it. Love the egg shape. So this is actually how you can differentiate it from Lisa's foundation because the packaging here is white. All right, squeezy tube. Here we go. Shade 7. Definitely has a neutral undertone. I can see it. A bit light for me currently, but hopefully T8 will work. Judging by the models, T9 is probably my closer shade because the girl just kind of like falls more into the vicinity of my phenotype, you know? But let's try T8. This is supposed to be a golden undertone, so hopefully this will work out a little bit better. Oh shoot. Also quite on the light side. Quite light. But we're gonna have to make do. In fact, I think the neutral is a little bit better even than the golden. Really curious to see how the T9 would look on me, given that it's a warm olive undertone, and those tend to work better for me. But these are the skin tones. This is the product. Thumbnail face. Are we scared? I'm most certainly just a little bit shook. Just a little. But I'm hopeful. let's see how this works. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna take my brush and I'm just gonna mix them in because this is kind of like a sheer formulation, so it should technically work, though I don't think this is going to match anywhere near my neck. I'm probably gonna need to balance it out. So I actually grabbed this PIXI On The Glow base in shade Nutmeg, which is my summer shade. This is what I wear to the gym on a daily basis. And so I'm probably gonna pair it with that just so that it can be a little bit more appropriate in terms of shade. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and shake up shade T7. I like the neutral, like I said, just a little bit more than the warm. The warm felt even lighter. And before I go on, I'm actually gonna add a little bit of Secure the Blur primer for one size, just to one side of the face. Let's go with this one to see if there's any sort of difference. I'm gonna leave this side of the face as is because generally when I test skin tints, I wanna see how they wear completely by themselves without any help, without any primers or powders. I am gonna do some strategic concealing. I have Lisa's Micro Precision pencil for that. But yeah, I just wanted to see if, you know, there's a difference. I'm gonna shake it up and I'm gonna add just a drop of that to the side of the face. Okay, yeah, no, this shade is definitely not my shade, but the coverage is quite impressive, actually. For a skin tint, this is a lot better coverage than I was expecting. I like that it covers redness, covers most of my spots, and it definitely has this smoothed out, blurred out finish. It does look like skin, and it blends super, super, super easily. The consistency kind of reminds me of the Pat McGrath Sublime Finish Perfection Foundation, you know, the one with the really long name. Yeah, I feel like the consistency here is very, very similar. It's very liquidy, and it's blending out quite great. All right, I'm gonna test out the other shade on the other side, because why not? It's here. And again, remember, this has no primer. I'm gonna do the same thing, just a drop. Maybe this is a better shade, or I don't know. It just looks so stark compared to my neck. At least it does on my monitor here, but it's nothing that we can't make do and make work. So this is the warm T8. This is the neutral T7. I don't know, somehow I like the T7 better. So now just for funsies, I'm gonna add both T7 and T8 on my forehead, but just a smidge of that. A smidge of that. Oh man, how I wish I actually had my shade. All right, just a little bit on the nose. It looks good, actually. On the forehead, it looks a lot sheerer than on the rest of my face for some reason. And so it seems to kind of balance itself out. But I am still gonna add a little bit of my PIXI On The Glow base that I love so much. Look, it's taking on the shape of my cheekbone because literally every day that I go to the gym, I slap it on just for a little bit of color and coverage. All right, I feel like that kind of helped. Very subtle, but very nice. If you're interested in this product, I do have a full thorough review with a gym wear test, which by the way, I'll be doing also for this product. I feel like a gym wear test is just a better wear test, especially in the summertime, because you get to put your skin through the extreme conditions of heat and sweating. And so I think a lot of my recent foundation reviews have been hits with you guys just because I do this gym wear test, you know? Let me know though. All right, so here we have it. Here is the face. One more thing I almost forgot to do. I definitely want to test this out as concealer. So let me do the warmer one, T8. I'm going to add just the tiniest drop, just the tiniest drop. I don't know if I can control the drop. Oh, I can. That's nice. I'm going to control the drop and I'm going to add that just like that under my lid. Would you look at that? Okay. Okay. I like the way it looks in the under eye. It is definitely very brightening. Not very brightening. It is subtly brightening in a very natural but believable sort of way. I like that it has this blurring sort of effect. Overall, honestly, I really like the consistency of this. I am, of course, scared about the ingredient, but if the ingredient wasn't an issue, I would probably be like raving about this right now because it sits pretty damn nicely on the skin. I'm not gonna lie. Here it is. Here is the face. Let me show you guys a close-up. Without anything else on, I'm not gonna do the micro concealing just yet. Here we go. Quite a radiant finish on the forehead. Here we go. Side of the face, this side of the face. Let's zoom into that under eye. Quite promising, quite promising. So now I'm just gonna do a couple more things. I wouldn't typically do this, but because this does have quite a radiant finish, and I dare say this is probably better for drier skin types than it is for oily skin types, just because of the ingredients, and also just because of the way that it feels. It feels extremely emollient, very, very slippery, even a little tacky, a little bit sticky to the touch. And because I'm a very oily skin type, acne prone, I think I need just a little bit of help. I am gonna micro conceal with shade 7 of this Pinpoint Concealer from Lisa that I love. This was my go-to when it first came out, and I think this is supposed to pair perfectly with this product, and look how well it takes care of those nasty little dark spots. Shade 7 is what I'm using. I like to pinpoint erase some of my freckles, not all of my freckles, but just whenever there's a larger cluster. Oh yeah, this is great. This is a wonderful, wonderful product. Long lasting, genius, innovative. I like to use it to kind of erase some shadows here, sharpen the lip line, whatever. This is great. And now I'm going to use my one size powder, just a little bit of that, because like I said, I don't want to look like I'm too made up, especially if I'm going to be wearing this again tomorrow and taking it for a spin at the gym to do my wear test. So I'm just going to kind of mattify the center of my face, just the most movable areas, using the one size translucent setting powder, not the pink, not the peach, just getting rid of any of that stickiness. And there we have it. Shall we do another close-up though? Here we go. Powder down, you can immediately see that the skin has taken more of a blurred appearance, especially when I turn to the side. Like here, you can still see that balmy sort of finish, especially on the forehead, but here where I powder down, just a little bit more natural looking. So here we go. That is the face. And now I think I'm ready to conduct that wear test. So before I do the wear test, of course, I will show you what this looks like in daylight, in a different light setting, and then I'm gonna show you how it wears. So I hope you're ready for it. And because I'm gonna be doing the wear test tomorrow, I'm gonna see if my skin actually reacts to this skin tint. And usually my skin is very reactive and it reacts fast. So as soon as I know, I will let you know. All right, let's go. Wear test time. Cue in that good old time warping music. It is daytime. The next day, I'm about to head to the gym. This is daylight. Not the most flattering light, kind of cross light, but I am in front of a window. But it is about 11:30, so the light is not the best. But here it is. Here is the skin. Up close and very, very, very personal. You can see all my freckles. You could see some of the dewiness from the parts that I didn't powder down. I applied the skin tint shade T7 this time all over my face. I have primer on this side of the face, no primer here, and this is what it looks like. Next stop, I'm gonna show you what this looks like at the gym. Wear test time. I think I chose the most well-lit location. There's a skylight right there. And here is the skin. I have been at the gym so far for 2 hours. I had a pretty intense weight training session. I also ran, so you could see I am sweating profusely in my hairline, on my forehead. And although my face looks good, it doesn't look like I'm wearing any makeup. It doesn't look like the skin tint is dripping off of me, but it is also not sweat resistant. And that tells me that perhaps this isn't an ideal choice for the gym. I don't want to look like I'm sweating and dripping wet. I kind of want to look a little bit more mattified than this. However, I will say that the product is definitely very friendly on my texture. It doesn't look like it's enhancing anything one bit, even though I am super, super sweaty, and it's worn pretty nicely. I have to say it is a flattering product. The skin is not looking terrible. I am probably like 4 inches away from my phone. I can even like tap on my phone with my finger. There we go. But yeah, you let me know what you think. My thought so far is that this is probably a better product for the drier skin types, for mature skin types, even for normal skin types. For oily, you may need a few more helpers. I actually don't see a difference between the primer side and the non-primer side. Perhaps a little bit more glossy and sweaty here, but not really. Overall, I think this has worn well. I would recommend it for, like I said, the drier skin types, but if you are acne prone, like I am very acne prone, I would give it a test run at first on an inconspicuous area, perhaps in the jawline or like somewhere that you could cover in case you do happen to break out. I am very aware of the coconut ingredient, and that in itself is making me just a little bit paranoid, if I'm honest. But so far I have not broken out, and I have tried this 2 days in a row, back to back. So that is my review, that is my story, that is my wear test. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I am so tired from my gym sesh. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out. I'm out. More videos over here. Deuces.